sponsor. They gave both private and public performances, and the company structure had a hierarchy of there were sharers. These were people who were like the money, the producers, as well as the main actors, sometimes the playwrights, sometimes things like the costumer. Wasn't necessarily a designer, because costumes were pretty much consisted of things that the aristocracy had discarded. And so these people were responsible for orchestrating this company. They would often share the profits to a certain degree, at which point there would be hired men, respected when they were employed, but when they weren't employed, they were scamps and vagabonds. Okay? So they would be paid a fee to perform the service of performing. Then there were apprentices. These were largely people who were being gleaned to become sharers. They're usually teenage boys between about 10 and 15 years old. These people played the women for the most part, especially the young lovers, because women were not allowed to perform by law. There's some suggestion that some theaters may have violated that from time to time, but there's very much evidence that they were fined or closed down because of it. And then, of course, you have the audience, which was, as I described, a mixed bag of all sorts of people. So, here's an example of what is currently today on the south banks of the Thames River, the Globe Theatre, which is built exactly, both by specifications and by materials, of records found during the Elizabethan era. So these are all held together by wooden pegs. The only things that they have are, there's some safety elements added for electricity conduits and so forth, but otherwise it's exactly with the wooden benches and the tiered seating, as you see in the bottom of the picture here, the grounding area, which is the open pit around the stage. They did add this sort of like gracious covering to keep the sun off of patrons in the middle of the day. This was a production of Comedy of Errors that they did. Well, I'll show you some clips of Macbeth that do show that. Now, I want to take a couple minutes. Maybe I'll probably show you some of this and some of it after Tuesday. But this, from the movie Shakespeare in Love, is a fictionalized account of the development of Romeo and Juliet. But the premise about how the show